Hey.
Oh my, it is so nice to finally meet you. I've heard so much about you,
Oh yeah,
all
hopefully
bad
good things.
things. Every last bit of all. How are you doing tonight?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm in wash day too, so my hair looks a little frizzy, but it's fine.
I
It's
like it. It's cute. Oh,
Thank
that shit,
you.
girl. Don't up. I ain't even say
Thank
nothing
you.
about
You
your
know,
hair.
I'm looking at it. I can see it.
Girl, sometimes I be coming on here like, what am I looking like? Who done it and why? So I understand, but no, I like your hair. It's great. It
Thank
totally fits with
you.
you. I've seen it, so don't worry, okay? Don't worry. You are okay. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, doing good. I had to like make a mad dash from my house because my internet wasn't working. So I
Mm.
drove to my dad's house. So if y'all see a lot of pictures of me in the background, that's because I'm at my parents' house.
Oh, I was like, man, she really loves herself, and that's a good self-love. That's a form of self-love right there, Lonnie. Don't stop. Get it. Thank you for joining me today. I appreciate you. I don't know if you've seen how it operates on this, but it's really like an interview and vibe. I'm going to ask you some questions about the amazingness that you do because I've been stalking you on the
What?
gram of the Insta. So I got questions. I got a few comments, very few concerns.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay, well, great.
Thank you so much. So, you guys, if this is your first time watching me, hello. Thank you for joining. We have the lovely Lonnie's Liquid Laugh. Did I get it right?
You did. You did.
Okay. Because I've been known to get things wrong a lot.
What? I don't believe
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
You're a liar.
If you saw some of the past episodes, you'd be like, wow, she's not the smart friend, is she? So
Oh, you are. You're the secret smart friend. You act
I'm the
like you're
secret
dumb.
smart friend. It's un secret. Es un secreto. So, Miss Lonnie, I should call you Lonnie, right?
Yeah, yeah. Just call me Lonnie. Yeah.
So tell me about yourself, Lonnie. You know, Stun told me real quick. Tell me about yourself.
Yeah. I'm Lonnie. I live in Savannah, Georgia. I live a little bit outside of Savannah in a little town called Hinesville, but I
Mm-hmm.
work in Savannah, Georgia. I'm a bartender at a lovely restaurant called Ardsley Station.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I just love to create drinks and bartend and see all the people and put my hospitality out there in the world.
You have a very beautiful smile. It's very
Thank
hospitable, so
you.
I can see that.
Thank
How did you get
you.
into bartending?
Really, I served for 10 years in Atlanta. I was a server for 10 years, and then I moved home because I was gonna revamp my parents' landscaping business. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna move home and I'm gonna like make it internet friendly, and I'm gonna restore it, and it's gonna be
Right.
great. And 3 months in, I ran out of money.
Hey, yeah, that
And
money
I was
is always
like,
the issue.
oh shoot, what I'm gonna do? So I went back to restaurants, but I was like, I'm gonna be a bartender this time because I know the bartenders make all the money. And
Mm-hmm.
that's just kind of how I fell back into it, like out of necessity. But now, it's become like my career, and yeah, I love it.
How long would you say you've been doing the bartending thing?
About 5 years. 5 years.
Okay.
5 years. Yeah,
So
yeah.
you just
Not
like
too
me.
long. Not too
Yeah, we're
long.
like
Yeah.
babies in the
Yeah.
industry.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You ever meet people and they're like, I've been doing it for 20 years. And you're like, damn, you've been bartending since you were 12? Is that legal? Oh
You'd be
my
like,
God.
what? Say what?
And they
Say
have the most
what?
to say about you doing things wrong. And never in my 20 years have I ever
Uh,
heard about that. It's like, all right,
right.
well,
Well, it's a new thing. It happened in the
yeah.
past 5 years.
Be old, all right? So do you really feel like now that you've been on the bartending side and the server side, do you feel like bartenders do make more money than the servers?
It depends. It depends
Mm.
in certain places. I think that I worked at Papados for a while in Atlanta. And
Mm-hmm.
if you were a banquet server, if you had a huge banquet, I think that you were gonna make more than bartenders that night. But the bartenders at Papados are like just rolling on the dough. I worked at a little small bar in Atlanta called Orange Bees, and I was a server, and their bartenders made like 500 to 800, $900 a night, and I was just like, what? This lady, still was this one lady. She only worked Friday through Sunday, and she was a soccer mom the rest of the week. I promise you.
Dang.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I want. I'm trying to go to find one of those jobs where you could just walk on, make like $1,000 a night, and I could just work there like 3 days a month. Like, where are those at?
Yeah, I don't know. They hiding.
Man, but I agree. I agree with you, because some people be like, bartenders make all the money, but it is where you go. There's some places I've gone to, and the servers are killing it, and the bartenders are kind of like just making pennies on the dollar.
Right.
And other places, bartenders are like rolling in the dough, and the servers are like paupers, you know.
Right. I
Little
agree.
poor
I
people.
agree.
You know.
Oh.
I try. I make sure I take care of myself. Like, it benefits me in no way to be a bitch to no one. You know.
Right.
It benefits me in no way. So you have a love of bartending, right?
I do. I kind of fell in love with it, and the creation of drinks, and getting to know people and learning about spirits and all those fun things. It just kind of became a part of my soul.
Yeah. I feel you on it. It's like you fell into it and you're like, wow, this is nice. I could do this forever.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, gosh. So I saw on your, now do you do like personal bartending outside of bars, or do you just at restaurant, you just stay in restaurants? Okay.
Yeah, I just stay in restaurants for now, I don't know, maybe one day.
You gotta go wherever that might not be everybody's ministry ain't to do that, you know?
Right. I want to open up my own bar though, so I kind of want to stay in bars and yeah.
Tell me about your perfect, like you opening your bar, like tell me about it. Take me there. If I was an investor, what would your bar have?
Actually, I'm in a idea accelerator class right now for my bar concept ideas. It's like 11 weeks with this like local organization that like accelerates ideas and makes them into businesses. And by the end of the 11 weeks, you have a business plan, you have like maybe some mentors, you have like everything, like a pitch and everything. So so I really love right now minority owned spirits, and I've been like just kind of like on this kick, like, okay, what's minority owned behind this bar?
Yeah.
Who do you know? Yeah. So I want to have a bar that is a like immersive experience in multicultural drinking. So I only have women and minority owned spirits at my bar. So
okay.
It's called Bar Black, and it's dark, sleek interior. Black is the new gold. Okay. Everything is minority owned. Like you go in, you have these great drinks and cocktails, and you may like open up your mind to something different, and you're like, oh, hey, that's minority owned. I didn't know that, So
that is so smart. We had a minority owned brand not too long ago, Bombade. Vodka. Yeah. Have you tried that?
I think they're from Georgia, actually.
Yeah, that's why I was asking. They're based out of Georgia.
No, I haven't had it, but I've seen it online, and I'm like, oh, where can I get it? What liquor stores get it?
Yeah, I was asking. I'm like, where can we get some of this? So he told us a few places where you could pick it up, but and then I think Jackie Summers at Sorrel.
Yeah, he's supposed to be in the Georgia market next month. I'm excited.
Yeah, I will be getting that. You gotta support it.
Yeah,
and I think
if my bar manager Sam watches this, can we get sorrel?
Yeah, like let's try it, and it looks so good. It looks real good.
Yeah,
it looks absolutely good. And then one more I'm thinking about is I think her name is Vanessa Braxton, like Black Mama Vodka or something like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've seen that one. It's called
she does Black Mama tea.
It's like tea infused. I saw one that was like chai tea vodka. That looks so good for like a little after dinner martini. Yeah, I love it.
That's gonna play with the flavors. So I love how we're just starting to advance and just spread out in that market, because before you didn't really know. Like the biggest one I knew was Uncle Nearest.
Yeah. And so now there's 10 to 1 rum, 10 to 1 rum doing its thing. I love it. There's just so many out there. And I just think that they need more exposure. And I just feel also like Black people don't even know what minority owned brands there are. Women don't even know, hey, that's a woman-owned company. Oh, there's a woman master distiller. Like, you don't
Mm-hmm.
know unless somebody tells you. And so I want my bar to be like all about education, all about spirits, and have
Mm-hmm.
programs for like young professionals. You know how like people get out of college and they don't really know how to drink, and then they go out to dinner with some of their colleagues, like older colleagues,
Yeah.
and they're like, let me get Moscato, and people
Let
are
me get an
looking at
amaretto
you
sour.
like you like they're
Like,
looking
how
at you
old are
like
you?
yeah. So I want to be able to like teach young professionals, young black professionals, hey, this is, other drinks you can drink. These are what these taste like, so that when they go
Mm-hmm.
out in a professional setting, that they don't get looked down upon, or they don't like, seem like cliche, which, and I love some Moscato too, but
Yeah, you guys
yeah,
sometimes, unfortunately, looks are important.
yeah,
Sometimes
yeah,
how you perceive.
unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah, when so I started. I had like moved up really quick in an organization where in a banking industry that I used to work in,
Hmm.
and I used to travel with them. And when we
Right.
would travel, we used to sit there and I would drink with like CEOs and VPs and like
Yeah.
pretty people who are pretty high up in a company.
Hmm.
And I didn't know what to drink. So
Right.
in my head, I'm like, I can't order no amaretto sour because I already look super young. So
Yeah.
now you get this amaretto sour. So now I was like, oh, this chick is super young. So I was like, Jack and Coke. Let me just get Jack and Coke. Bombay. Somebody was like, you gotta try
Yeah.
a martini. Try the martini. Got fucked up. Too quick, too soon.
Yeah, Bombay Sapphire Martini on your first time
Oh
trying
my,
it. You're like, what?
that was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. So the accelerator program, how did you find out about that?
It's offered through this local organization in Savannah that works with Small Business Administration. It's called Creative Coast, and they have like a lot of SCORE, the nonprofit that helps with
Mm-hmm.
like mentor small businesses. They have a lot of mentors from that agency. I just found it online because they also put on this event in Savannah called women, she
Ooh.
hustles. So they have like all these women entrepreneurs coming to watch this like panel of women entrepreneurs, and the panel guests talk about how they succeeded or what their issues are, and then like just kind of like motivate you. And it's like a room full of like women entrepreneurs. And I
Mm-hmm.
also do a podcast, so me and my podcast co-host, we go to She Hustles to meet other people and like support. And I always see Creative Coast doing these things. And then I saw that they were doing this idea accelerator class. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to join that because I think that it will be helpful. And we did the first class. And I was like, okay. I was kind of scared because it was like 60-year-old white dudes. And I was like, oh, I want to have this bar with only minority owned spirits. And they were like, oh wow, we think that's a great idea.
It
Yeah, in
is.
Savannah. Yeah, well, you can do it. And I was like, wow, okay, yeah, I can do
He did right. He didn't expect it to be so welcome. He thought they'd be like, well, maybe you should
it.
widen your net a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. Because
That's
I told my mentor about it, and he was like, "Ooh, people gonna ask you for Tito's and Crown Royal. What you gonna say?" And I was saying, "I'm saying they can find that somewhere else."
yeah. All you gotta do is educate them. We don't have
Yeah,
Tito's, but let me tell you what we do have.
yeah,
And then they like that's how I get a lot of people. All you gotta do is just educate them, and then people
yeah,
change their mind.
yeah,
So you have a podcast. Tell me about the podcast.
yeah. It's called the Rift Savannah. It's three friends who talk about food, fun, and adventure. And originally, we all were in hospitality, so we were all bartenders at one point. So we talk about like a lot of like bars and food and like adventures that we want to do. And at one point in time, we were doing a bucket list. We had to stop doing that, but because we
What
get
was the
like
bucket list about? Why you have to
it
stop
would be
that?
like a quarterly bucket list of things we want to do, but we would never complete the whole bucket list.
Oh
So it'd be like a bucket list of a bucket list.
gosh. Like, all right, well,
Yeah.
one day finish this.
Yes, yes, yes. It was on the bucket list, but it's on the bucket list to be continued.
Right.
So yeah, no, we have a lot of fun. One of our co-hosts just went to Mexico. She went to Oaxaca and went down and like toured the agave fields and had
Mm.
agave and went zip lining. She had so much fun. So yeah, we do food, fun, and adventure in Savannah, Georgia. And
Have
three
you
black
traveled?
women.
Yes, right. Food, fun, and adventure. I like that one. Have you
Yeah,
traveled to places and like kind of
yeah,
gone to like other distilleries and anything out the
yeah.
country?
Yeah, so actually at Chocolate City's Best, they took us to a lot of distilleries. They took us to Catoctin Creek Distillery. We went to District 8 Distillery, and I'm actually going to Portland in April for winning one of the prizes is you go to Westward Distillery in Portland. So I'm going there for 4 days in April. I have been to the Jack Daniel's distillery. I've been to um, JP Weiser's in Canada. Also, we went to one in Texas. I can't remember the name. I used to work for a distributor. So they would take us to all these places and all these distilleries. And I've been on so many distillery tours, I don't remember.
Yeah.
All of them.
But you got the knowledge. That's all that counts.
Yeah. So, but I have been out of country too. I've been to Jamaica, Argentina. I've been to Panama, the country, and also Germany, Switzerland, and France, and Canada. Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Switzerland.
Switzerland. Yeah.
What took you out there?
When I was I have a degree in economics, and
Ooh.
before I switched to economics, I was a hospitality major, and they had a hospitality study abroad at Georgia State University where it was like, oh, you have 3 weeks overseas, and you go on all these back of the house tours of all these
Mhm.
like high-end hotels and restaurants. So yeah, I joined the study abroad, but I did really bad in that class. It was like I went on a study abroad, but I didn't turn in the final paper because I was like 2 weeks late with it.
Oh shoot! Did you make it? Did you pass the class?
I did with a C. But C
Okay.
students rule the world. I'm just saying.
C's get degrees and
Yeah. C's
D's.
get degrees.
They both get degrees. I wish I would have when I was I went to college
Hmm.
and then I didn't like I finished, but I didn't really go to like I didn't finish from a physical college. I finished online, and I
Right.
kind of do
You
wish I
finished
could have.
though. You finished.
I
That's
finished, but I kind
you
of wish I
finished.
would have got out. I would have went to like another country and did like an internship someplace. I was
Yeah.
just like, I'm over school. I've been in school for 12, 13 years. Why
Yeah.
are we dragging this out? I want to be grown.
Right. Yeah. I was in there for a long time too. I don't know what I was doing.
It's just hanging out. I think if I would have did it again, I don't know. Some days I feel like I don't think I would have went to college. Maybe
No.
I would just went straight out to got to bartending.
Yep. That's what I would have did. I would have went straight into the Savannah market. Bam.
And now you're in like tons of debt. Well, at least I
Yeah.
am for
Yeah.
this
No, I
degree
am
that
too. Yeah, I am too. We
you
both
know.
are.
Oh my gosh, right? I
High
got to tell
five
my
on the
future.
extension on the student loan repayment.
Yeah, I got some type of one where they like waived it. I waived a lot of my fees, or either they combined it. I don't know. Moral story is they still not getting no money from me, so I ain't got it.
I
My
ain't
friends
got it.
don't got it. I can't
I ain't
ask a
got it.
neighbor. You
No,
know.
they ain't got it neither. Lord have mercy. My neighbors so don't. I don't even know who my neighbors are. I'd be
Nobody got,
like,
and they sure be trying to get that money back. Like, bro, I don't even use my degree. Well, I kind of do human resources.
oh
I do
yeah,
HR, so
yeah.
But I don't even. So Chocolate City's best. Sorry, Chocolate
Okay,
City's best.
no, that's fine.
How did you get involved with that?
I saw it online, and I kept on seeing it, and I was like, yeah, you know what? I think I might apply for that. I might do Chocolate City's Best. And yeah, I just end up entering Chocolate City's Best. Oh, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
Actually, there's a story. Like, so I follow Capri
Mm-hmm.
because I was at there's this hospitality symposium in New Orleans called Resistance Served. I
Mm-hmm.
was at Resistance Served, the first annual Resistance Served, and I met Capri, and I was like, oh, she was really cool. So I followed her on Instagram. And so on her Instagram, she kept on putting stuff on Chocolate City's Best. And I was like, oh, what's that? So then I watched like a Instagram live with the last Chocolate City's Best winner. And I was like, oh, that sounds really cool. His drink sounds awesome. So I ended up entering Chocolate City's Best online, and yeah, I got into the top 10, and I was like, oh. So yeah, no, that's how I learned about it and how I got involved.
And you end up winning, right?
I did.
Congratulations!
Yeah,
Like, did you
yeah.
go in expecting to win? What was your thought process going in there?
I was like, oh, I get to go to DC for a week and chill out with other Black bartenders. How awesome is that? Like I was like, oh, all in for the ride. Like you're gonna meet all these amazing people. You're gonna have like a good time. They put you up at Airbnb. You chilling out. You having 4-course meals. You had
Oof.
getting bottles of booze right when you walk through the door. It's like even if you didn't win, you came home with like 4 or 5 bottles of alcohol. You came home with like tools. They sent us a sweatshirt that says Chocolate City Best. I'm sorry, I'm not wearing it right now. I was trying
That's
to run out
okay.
of my house.
It sounds like you're wrecking them really hard right now, so it's all
Yeah,
right.
I mean, Chocolate City's Best was, yeah, indescribable. Just so amazing. Really,
So,
really, really good time.
what was the cocktail that won you the competition?
It was called With Reverence. I kind of am a little religious, a lot religious.
Mm-hmm. That's okay.
Hallelujah.
Stake a claim. Own it. Don't be afraid.
Yeah,
Own it.
so I feel like sometimes it's kind of it's weird for bartenders to be religious, like
Like
you're working
sacrilegious.
you working with alcohol, you
Mm-hmm.
give people alcohol all the time,
I
and
mean,
it's just
but
like
what was Jesus's first miracle? One of his first miracles.
he turned water into wine, girl.
Bam. So I mean,
Bam.
he didn't want you to become a lush, but you are
Right.
allowed to drink.
Right. So I don't know. Anyway, so I was with reverence, the name for the cocktail came up because I was trying to tie in everything they were looking for and the story with the cocktail. So I talked about like feeling like kind of, like one not very um, needed in the industry. Like my boss, when I was in the distributor role, he would always just be like, "Oh, you guys are overlay position. You have to prove ourselves. We have to
Mm-hmm.
make sure that you have to prove yourself that you're seen as being useful to the company." And this kind of makes you feel a little like, "Oh man, am I not useful to the company?" You're like
Yeah.
always on edge, thinking that you're not like you're just one in a million,
Right.
like you're
Like
just
every day you about
a
to lose your
cog,
job.
a cog in the wheel,
Mm-hmm.
and I talked about, just feeling like, you're purposefully and thoughtfully made. You're not one in a million. You are like a singular person that God made for a reason, and
Mm-hmm.
and He made with reverence. So that was the name of the cocktail, and it had porcini mushroom syrup and a
Ooh.
coconut fig leaf syrup,
Ooh.
sherry, and then also the Westward whiskey. Westward was one of the sponsors of Chocolate City's Best, and also lime juice. So yeah, all that together.
Porcini mushrooms?
Yeah, porcini mushroom.
How do you come up with your pairings? Because that's a
Uh,
very interesting one.
so this is a long story.
Give it to me. We got 35 minutes. I'm for it.
Okay, so we had went to this tasting on the rooftop of this like in this like rooftop garden bar in DC. I forget what it's called, but they had like Starward whiskey, and I was talking to the bar manager, and I was like, "Oh, is that you guys a store downstairs, like across the street?" She's like, "Yeah, that's our store. You should go over there and check it out. They have like a lot of little local products and stuff like that." So I go over to the store after we get finished, and I see dried mushrooms. Like I didn't even think about porcinis at first. I found like dried shiitakes and dried like something else like at this little store. So I buy those mushrooms, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do something with these. I don't know what everybody else is going to the grocery store, but I called one of my friends. I was like, hey girl, I'm in town. Let's go out. So we go out to all these bars, and we having a good time. And like I didn't even think about it that night. How I'm gonna use the mushrooms. Like I kind of like when I'm doing flavor pairings, I kind of just let my mind go into another direction and then come back to it, because that it just makes sense that way. So that night when I get home, I look in Flavor Bible, pull out my flavor Bible. Everybody, flavor Bible is like this book you can get on Amazon. It's like under $20. It has like all these pairings. So I look in the mushroom section, and it's like I see limes, I see, coconut, and I'm like, oh, coconut mushroom, really? That goes together? Okay, whatever you say, flavor Bible. So I'm looking at that. Put that away. Next day, we go to like this spice room experience, the spice suite in DC, and it's owned by a black woman, and she talks about, she's actually very inspirational how she was like working as a teacher or like a superintendent or something like that. Oh, a principal. And so she just dropped everything. She saw this space for rent, and she was like, oh, I think I might rent that. And she's like literally just started a spice shop because she loves spices, and then traveled the world to like pick out different spices. So another thing about Taco City is that they give you a gift card. They give you a gift card for like $100 for you to use like on ingredients. So we're in there, and I'm just like, oh, I saw the mushroom powder, porcini mushroom powder, and I'm like, wow, how like much of a coincidence is this? Like, wow, okay. There's porcini mushroom powder. There's a like olive oil porcini mushrooms and sage, which is one of the flavor pairings I saw as well. I'm like, wow, that's a lot of porcini stuff. So my mentor was like, you know what? Maybe you should think about 2 different drinks and get the ingredients for 2 different drinks. And, think about 2 different drinks just in case that one drink doesn't work out for you. And I was like, oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I ain't even worried about that other drink. So I ended up giving whatever I bought for the other drink away. I was just like, I ain't even develop a second drink. But so I got the porcini powder. And so our mentor also let us use her space the next day to like come up with stuff. So let me tell you, I was coming up with my syrup, and I'm putting all this stuff in there. Then I remember that you can only have 2 ingredients in your syrup. So that's why my final syrup has 2 syrups, because you can only have 2 ingredients in your syrup. So I had the coconut fig leaf syrup. So at my job, we used to have this really talented pastry chef, and she used fig leaves in like a coconut milk to make ice cream. So I was like, oh man, I remember it tastes so good. Like I need to make that. So I made that, and there's like this like huge fig tree out in the middle of this marketplace in DC. So I was like, oh, fig leaves right here for me. It just all came together. I don't know.
It sounds good. I wish I could try that.
I would say that I'm lucky, but I just think I was blessed. Like everything just kind of like melded together for me. Like when I was making the coconut fig leaf syrup, I texted this pastry chef, and I was like, hey, how long did you let the fig leaves steep in the coconut milk? And she was like, 48 hours.
Wow.
I ain't got that much time.
Oh my gosh. You gotta make something shake. We don't have that.
I ain't got 48 hours.
It sounds like that was like a sweet and umami type of
it turned out
rich
being
taste
really
to it.
delicious. Very like complex flavors. Like the mushroom kind of stands out. Almost makes like a chocolatey note, like when you have the mushrooms with the coconut and the figs. And then the lime adds a little acidity, because you want to have the acidity to bring the cocktail together. And then the Westward whiskey with the spices, like that like deep depth of spices from Westward just was like perfect. And I was so sad when I got home, because Westward whiskey is not distributed in Georgia yet. And so I had to pick a new one, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, that can change the flavor profile.
Yeah.
Period. We have to do that.
Yeah.
So
hard.
Besides the flavor Bible, new bartenders who are trying to figure out how to learn about pairings, what can they do to become better at building a cocktail and learning what flavors pair with what? Like, what would you tell them they should do or practice?
I read a lot of cocktail books. I have a lot of cocktail books at my actual house. It's not a house. But like I have like a huge bookshelf of cocktail books, and like I'm not necessarily like on there trying to like copy somebody else's cocktails, but I'm just flipping through, looking at the cocktails from these top bars in the United States, thinking in my head, okay, when I'm creating drinks, am I kind of like on the path they are, like when they're creating drinks, because they're the top bars for a reason, you know? And I'm looking at how they're putting together the cocktails, and a lot of them like are using, you know, sour, sweet. You want a little bit of saltiness, you want a little bit of, you know, acidity, like you have, you know, these things that kind of like balance out the flavors in your drink. So I say that, like looking at other cocktails, tasting other cocktails from bartenders who you aspire to be, or bartenders who are maybe like your mentors, like taste cocktails that they're putting out, taste the classics, because the classics are a great base for, you know, experimentation. Like you take a classic and you like change one thing out of it. Like let's say the Manhattan cocktail competition for Woodford is coming up, and one of the things is you create your version of a Manhattan. You know, you're taking like a Manhattan and changing it for your version, and that's, you know, I mean, that's like the basics for me, the cocktail creation. And then also just, you know, just do it. Like, don't be like, hey, I want to do this thing, but like the other day I was like, hey, I want to make a cocktail with an avocado syrup. I saw this avocado syrup in the Nomad cocktail book, and I was like, oh man, that sounds really good. So I ended up making that avocado syrup, and I like just added some other stuff to it because I was like, oh, I like this, but in the cocktail I want to go in, I want to kind of like be a little bit brighter, or I want to be a little bit more, you know, kind of changed it a little bit to like suit my purposes. So I mean, that is just one of the things I do. Like I have a chinois in my kitchen, I have like an immersion cooker, I have like all
You got
these
it all.
appliances, you know, like so that I can personally create on my own, so that I can see what other people are doing and how the flavor profiles work, and then it'll be easier to put them together.
Right. Do you what was, I forgot what I was just about to say. I was right there, like it hit me, and I had it, and I was trying to let you finish, and it was just like, damn. I get you just forget things randomly.
I'm
All right.
sorry.
Well, okay,
I
yes.
made you forget.
Create the syrups. Okay. So when you're making your syrups, are you making them kind of like a simple syrup where you're just how would you make like one of your porcini syrups, or your, if you can tell me, if you have to kill me,
Yeah.
I
No,
don't
no,
want to
no.
know.
I have the recipe. I shared the recipe with a whole group before. So the porcini. It's been a while since I made it, but you're using porcini dust, and I know you can buy this because the chef at my job used porcini dust on his he uses it on the grouper, like to make like a coating on the grouper. So he had porcini dust back there. So it's just basically water, sugar, porcini dust. That's
Wow.
it.
So
That's
you're
it.
making like you make a simple syrup.
Yeah, just with mushroom powder. Yeah. But the coconut and the fig leaf syrup is what binds all of the flavors together. Because without the coconut fig leaf syrup, it was kind of like, oh, I have lime, I have mushroom, I have whiskey, and sherry. But then the coconut fig leaf was like, we're making a circle.
Oh shoot. Okay. So let's go back. So you talked about, you said a few times you have a mentor. How did you get a mentor? How did that come about?
I mean, I call him a mentor, but he probably really don't even think of it that.
He's like, you're just some lady I know.
No, he was my old bar manager when I worked at the Gray in Savannah. His name's Cody. Cody Henson. Shout out to Cody Henson. I always text him. I always text him with random stuff.
I have some people like that too. I don't know that I would call my mentor, but there were some people who helped. When I opened a bar, they were like bar consultants. So it was just like I was self-taught completely. I didn't go to school. Right. Were you self-taught? Did you go to school?
I did not go to school, but I did look at a lot of YouTube videos.
Oh, you're self-taught. Yeah, girl.
No, but then I kind of like originally self-taught myself, but then when I got a job at like a high-end restaurant, they were like, whatever you're doing. Like during my stage, I almost shook a Manhattan, and they were like, actually, it's third.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, oh, okay. I think that during this time, because my personality is just like so like welcoming, they were like, okay, whatever, we could just teach her everything else.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
That's what I tell a lot of people who work for me. I'm like, I just care about your personality,
right.
because I could teach you how to bartend. You can learn everything else. You
Yeah.
can't learn personality.
You
Like, you
can't.
either got it or
Yeah.
you don't. And even
Or
when you fake it,
hospitality
yeah,
either. Like, yeah,
you got it or
just
you don't.
that
Something.
kind of like a humility, almost like a humility too, like when you're serving to like, or like kind of like a presence that's like welcoming so that people aren't
Yeah.
afraid to ask you questions. I feel like that's a problem in hospitality where people are just so like their presence is so domineering that
Yeah.
you're scared. Yeah, you're scared to be
Yeah.
like, what is this menu item or what's that? But somebody who's truly hospitable and welcoming, you can ask them like 20, 30 questions because they don't seem like they mind. You know, they
Yeah.
actually seem like they're happy to explain it to you.
To
So,
help you out. You
yeah.
find a lot of dickheads in the hospitality industry
Yes.
where they feel like when you ask, you don't know this, and you call yourself a bartender, like,
Yeah.
what? You
Yeah.
didn't walk onto the sticks knowing everything. You had to
Yeah.
learn.
Yeah.
You know,
Definitely.
I have
Yeah.
a group I'm in, and they act like that, and it's just, it makes, there's a lot of people out there who would be great in this industry, but
Right.
they've run into people like that, and they don't
Yeah.
want to come back, and we lose out on some really good talent.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people who would be great guests too, who run into that one bartender that is like makes them kind of like, I don't want to go to any craft bars anymore. I'll just go to my regular watering hole. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so where everybody knows your name.
yeah,
I
and they're
work.
always glad you came. I'm
You
just saying.
know, I watched that. I like kind of remember from when I was a kid. You know, like, I
Cheers.
didn't watch
Yeah.
that. A bunch of people I wasn't really interested in. But now I watch it because you learn about things like, I forgot what it was called. It's like a cocktail that's just made of vermouth, and I can't think of it right now. But
Mm.
it'll come to me later. But it's a cocktail with vermouth and like one other thing. So you learn about it, tells you like other cocktails that
Right.
may not be your typical classic cocktails, but
Mm-hmm.
maybe these were cocktails that people, asked for back in the day. Now they're not going to ask for these cocktails in a dive bar or anything,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
that goes to show where you build up more of your internal knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
so that you can be a better bartender, because that's really what it is. Just keep building and building and
Yeah.
growing and
Definitely.
growing. What's your favorite cocktail that you've made? One of your favorites. I know it's kind of hard to just
It's
go
really
with
hard.
one. But give me one. Tell me one
Oh
or two.
man, dang. Okay, so okay, well right now I just made this cocktail. It's called Carter's Cabana for Black
Uh-huh.
History Month. It's a Black History Month cocktail at my restaurant right now.
Uh-huh.
And it is Carter G. Woodson was the original like creator of Black History Week, which led to Black History Month. And he spent like some time in the Philippines as a education superintendent. So I kind of think, okay, this guy, if he were in the Philippines, maybe he could drink my drink. That was my inspiration.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So it has 10-1 rum. It's a black owned rum company. And then it has hibiscus lemongrass syrup.
Mm-hmm.
So hibiscus is natively from Africa. You know, there's like, okay, so I follow this guy called Black Food Fridays.
Okay.
If you don't know about Black Food Fridays, you're gonna know because he's awesome. And he does these little snippets called Black Food Facts. And so he did one on hibiscus, and that got me thinking. And then he did one on Carter G. Woodson, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna combine those two into a drink. So I have the hibiscus lemongrass syrup with eucalyptus bitters and also a little spritz of absinthe on the top. And then it has the orange expressed, and we're using this
Ooh.
locally made ice from my friends over at Crook Factory Ice Company, and it's like a clear ice cube. It's really delicious. It's like strong because it's stirred. It's like a stirred rum cocktail. You have
Mm.
that like floral, and then you get like the anise like on the nose, and then you have like a little bit of orange on the nose, and it's
Mm.
very lovely, and it comes out like this kind of like dark pink, and it's it's one of my favorites right now. Carter's Cabana, love it.
Carter's Cabana.
Yeah.
Oh, who are you following on Instagram? Who else that's Black Food Fridays, right?
Black Food Fridays, yeah.
Who else are you following right now?
I followed Fawn Weaver from
Fawn
Uncle Nearest.
Weaver.
Fawn Weaver from Uncle Nearest.
Ooh,
So
okay.
Uncle Nearest founder, Fawn Weaver. She is so fun and so inspirational. Like, so she has like this she watches church with her family around the country, like all together on Sundays, and I thought that's like so awesome. And then she's always talking about walking in your own shoes, you know, like kind of like doing your own thing and like just being like, she's just so inspiring. You just have to follow her. And she does this thing called Sunday with the Weavers, and she like documents what her and her husband do on Sundays. And I like it. It's so personal for a spirits brand creator, owner, you know. It's just like a little glimpse into her life, and it's just like, it's amazing. It's like, I like
it's
it.
like, oh my God, you're human too. Me too.
Yeah, definitely. I also follow Liquid Lynn House. Like, she's amazing too. So
Liquid Lynn.
Yeah, I think it's Liquid Lady Lynn. I can't go look.
That's okay. I know. Yeah, don't look. You're gonna shut us down. Don't do that. We'll figure it out.
Lynn House, like, she's like the OG Black bartender. I love her.
Oh, she's on the Brown and Balanced shirt, isn't she?
Yeah. So also Brown and Balanced. Yeah, I definitely Brown and Balanced.
I
love
Brown and Balanced.
Yeah, Brown and Balanced is awesome. And also Chocolate City's Best. You got Chocolate City's Best.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. Like, I definitely hope to do that this year. You know, we have had several participants from Chocolate City Best that come on here. So
yeah,
I think that's like flipping awesome.
I think that it's like a propeller for your career too. Like, you go and you meet all these people, they follow you, they're like, you know, kind of like, you can ask them questions any time of the day, you know, and it's like, you go there and it's literally like Black excellence in the room. Like, you know, Black bar owners, not Black everything, but you know, like, it's
like even the steps are Black.
See all these beverage professionals who are really killing it, like giving back to, like, you know, the people who are on the entry level, and I just loved it. I loved it. I don't have nothing negative to say.
You would recommend it to other people?
Yeah, definitely. I've been like looking for some Black bartenders in Savannah. Like, come on, y'all gotta continue the Savannah legacy.
Right, get up there.
Right.
Do you guys, how is the Black bartender scene down there in Atlanta? Or do you feel like it's pretty welcoming? Is it standoffish? Is it like, what Black bartenders? You know, how would you say it?
In Savannah, I feel like it's a tourist town, you know. Okay. So there are very like notable Black bartenders, but there's not like a whole bunch, you know. Like, it's not like DC where it's like Chocolate City and it's like everybody. I walk into places and I'm seeing like whole Black staffs, and I'm just like, what?
Which is crazy, because I'm thinking Atlanta is like the land of Black people, is it not?
No, I'm not in Atlanta. I'm in Savannah,
Georgia.
Savannah.
My bad. I mean Georgia. You know, sometimes I look at Atlanta and I think it's state and it's not.
I mean, Atlanta. Yeah, there's a lot of Black bartenders, but Savannah.
But not Savannah. What?
Not that many. Yeah.
I gotta get back to traveling because I don't know nothing.
I think since the pandemic, there's more and more because people are so like looking for people to work. You know, like, or they're just like, oh, come on, I'll teach you. No experience necessary, you know. And I feel like it created a lot of more Black bartenders. And then also Savannah has become kind of like this migrant town. Like, a lot of people are moving to Savannah. Like, it's unprecedented. People that sit at our bar, they're like, oh, I just moved here the last 3 months. And it's like a lot of them. So I think that a lot of bartenders for other cities who right now they might still be like shut down and Georgia's like wide open, which I don't, you know, I can't be like mad about because I'm still making money. But,
right.
but like some other cities, they might not be able to open their restaurants yet, or they might be on
Mhm.
like, very strict COVID protocols, but Savannah is not. So they
Mm.
moved to Savannah and then they love it so much they just stayed there. So like the price of rent in Savannah, that's why I don't live in Savannah. I live outside of Savannah because I can't afford.
Wow, it's expensive. It's pretty high cost of living.
Yeah, like I
Nice.
literally, our bar manager just like went and bought a house because they were like, oh, our rent went up, so we might as well just buy a house.
Yeah, rent is ridiculous. Like
Yeah,
some places, you got to give your whole entire baby to just live
yeah.
there
What?
as your deposit,
Be
and
like, hold on. In 9 months, I got something for you.
like firstborn or secondborn. Now, because that's secondborn, I think you can have them. I
I
don't
mean,
know.
does it have to be a boy or a girl?
My sister was telling me, and I was like, "Damn, I live in a house, and like I pay like 600 some odd dollars,
Yeah,
and she's looking for an apartment, and she's talking about 1,400. And I was like,
yeah,
God dang,
yeah.
an
I live in a
a
house,
two
and it's like maybe mid 800s, and it's
bedroom.
like a large house, and I'm just like,
Yeah,
okay, and but I drive like 45 minutes to work, so I
yeah.
mean,
You gotta pay for it some way.
yeah.
I'm like, Mom, I'm this close to doing something strange for change out here. Life is getting tough,
No,
Mommy.
I
Just
mean,
bring the discount rate.
inflation for real. Like it's crazy. Groceries are crazy expensive. I've been
And they
following
don't want to
people.
pay more, which is
No,
crazy.
they
You know,
don't.
like
They don't.
everything around you is expanding and you don't want to pay more.
Right, and it's crazy. It is crazy.
Oh,
Mm-mm-mm.
so I have something called the Last Supper question. Now, usually it's been the same for the past couple weeks, but I'm changing it
Oh,
because
okay.
I got mine from Brown and Balance, and I'm like, man, let me come up with something else. So, Last Supper question.
Hmm.
It's you're stuck on an island, right?
Right.
And you can only have three things. And I'll tell you these three things that you can have. You can have
What?
one bar tool that you can't live without, one liquor / spirit that you can't live without, and one random thing that you can't live without. Three things. It has to be a bar tool. It's got to be some type of spirit, and then you can pick the third random thing of yourself. I know, right? A thought one. I
Um.
know, weird. I'm into that stuff.
Yeah, this is really strange. Like, what
I
is
know,
going
right?
on?
What's your
Uh,
bar tool that's like you have to have all the time? Like you can't be without this bar tool.
I don't have nothing that I'm in love with like that.
Really?
You know what I would say if I was on a desert island?
Yes.
And what? And I'm picking these things so I could be able to survive,
I
or
mean, you're just out here making cocktails for random people who's gonna be stuck with you. Because if it's the end of the world, like what you gonna do? Get drunk? Absolutely. I mean, other people, not you.
uh,
Other people.
I would probably take one of those metal stirring glasses. Have you ever seen those? The
No,
metal
tell me
ones.
about this. See,
So
this is why we
instead of
have this
like a
question. We learned
so
something new.
instead of a glass stirring glass, it's a metal one. And you know what? I seen these at this outdoor bar, and I was like, what? They got metal ones. So I bought one. And so it's like a mixing glass, but it's
Mm-hmm.
metal, so that when you're outside in the hot heat, it's like on the mixing glass,
Mm.
it won't like burst if you put like cold stuff in it, or you won't like, I don't know, it just keeps it colder, and it is just
Oh,
like
yeah.
it was really cool. Like you couldn't see what was in the glass, but it was like metal, and I was like, oh, that's awesome. So I'd probably take that, and here's why.
Okay.
Because if I want to cook something over an open fire, I can also put it in my mix. My mixing.
I love the thought process. I see that is why we ask the question. I love the thought. Okay. So
Yeah.
two
So
part. All right.
okay,
So
all
number
right.
two, the liquor. Like
Uh
what's one liquor / or liqueur or spirit like you'd have to use for the rest of your life. You don't mind using this
oh
forever and
my
ever.
gosh. Oh, that's so hard. Oh, I would say some sherry. Some
Ooh.
really delicious sherry. Yeah, I love sherry. And it's really
What?
hard for me to stop putting it in cocktails.
Shit. Oh yeah, because you did it wasn't your Chocolate City best cocktail, right?
Yeah, so now I'm like, dang, like I can't put sherry because everybody be like, oh, she uses sherry all the time. So Sherry, any kind of sherry. I love it all.
What do you like about sherry?
It's there's just so many, like, so it can be either nutty or it can be just kind of like dry. It just adds this depth to the cocktail. Like there's a really like I don't know. I just love sherry. I would really love to go, and like tour like places to make sherry one day. That'd be awesome.
And
But
for the
anyway,
people who might not know, do you know what, like, is sherry like a fortified wine, or what exactly is sherry?
So the sherry that I use at Chocolate City's Best, I got from this little wine shop that talks all about, they carry a lot of sherry. And I actually took like, have you ever heard of Loose Style?
I feel like I have.
Loose Style is like one of the sherry brands, and they do like a sherry certification. So I took like this sherry certification, and I learned a lot about it, but that was like a very long time ago. But it is a fortified wine. They have like a sherry triangle in Spain where you can go and like tour all the sherry houses, and like depending on where the sherry is made, you can have like a little bit of saltiness in there, and just like all these little descriptors that you have that you can taste it, and it's just so wonderful.
Yeah. You seem like you're just really in love with it.
No, I am. I love sherry, and you could just drink it on its own. It's a little bit ABV. It's just good. Chilled sherry. Oh, you can just drink it anytime. Anyway,
you're a sherry lover. I'm for it because I never hear anyone really talk about sherry. That. So the fact that you love it like that is like,
love it.
Maybe I need to revisit my sherry activity.
Yeah, a little macchiato.
A little fancy. Yeah. And what's a one random thing you would want to have with you on the island? Any random thing that you couldn't live without?
This is so hard.
I know, because that 5-1, I was like, man, I need a stumper.
I think I'll take my boyfriend. Can't live without a boyfriend.
I guess that's nice to have. Look, that's good. Because he's probably there watching this like, you better say that.
No, he's not. He don't get on Instagram at all. Like
he's not on Instagram?
No.
Is he just not a social media person?
He is like this extreme introvert. So
that's good. Keep him away from out here. So many hoes just out here in the industry. Just floating around. Oh my God. So before we go, we're coming to an end. Thank you so much, Miss Lonnie, for joining me.
Thank you for
telling me so much.
No, I mean, I feel like I talked a lot.
That's the goal. I like when people talk a lot. It's hard when people don't really talk, or they give like one-worded answer. So then I'm like, fuck, I gotta pull this shit out. So I gotta create something to pull it out of you. So when you talk, it's like, yes.
You guys have to like pray for me though, because I'm going down to Miami at the end of March 2nd to compete in the Mount Gay rum competition.
Congratulations!
So you guys pray for me. I hope I make it to Barbados. Yes.
Is that the grand prize to go to Barbados?
So if you win in your region, you go to Barbados to compete against 5 other people. So you go for a whole week to Barbados.
So when you do that, do they pay for that, or do you have to pay for everything?
For Barbados, or for going to the regionals?
Going to Barbados.
No, they pay for everything for Barbados, but you had to get yourself to the regionals.
Okay.
So that's what I'm working on.
And the regionals in Barbados?
No, the regionals is in Miami on March the 2nd in Miami Beach. And if you win at the regionals, you go to compete against 4 or 5 other people in Barbados to win the grand prize.
Ooh, and what's the grand prize?
I don't know.
Yourself. You win knowledge in the trip in Barbados. That's a grand prize. Man.
Hey, I just want to get to Barbados. I don't care about winning after that.
Girl, same here. You take me to Barbados, man. Oh my! I'm trying to get flued out someplace. Barbados.
You can go with me. If it's a +1, I'll take you.
Oh, shoot, girl, I'm good. Y'all heard her say it. You heard her say it. Show this to your boyfriend. Like, look, I know I said that I was going. It was a joke. It just got out of hand. I gotta take her with me. So before we go, plug yourself, Miss Lonnie. How can we follow you? How can we support you? Where you at? Who you be? What you do? Tell us.
Yeah, so you can follow me at Lonisliquidlaugh, and as you can tell, I laugh a lot, so that's where that name came from. And then also the Riff Savannah is our podcast. If you like podcasts, you can go on like Spotify, Apple, find it on there. Check it out. We got a lot of fun episodes. Other than that, you can come to see me at Ardsley Station in Savannah, Georgia. I'll be there for a while, until I get my bar up off the ground. Then you can come see me at Bar Black in Savannah, Georgia. I'm putting it out there in the atmosphere.
Oh yeah, I'm coming to see you. I'm going to come there and I'm drinking everything.
I'm drinking everything. Okay.
I'm drinking everything. I'm not going to drive. Because it's dangerous. But I'm gonna give me an Uber. I'm gonna drink everything in here because I think that is so. It's really hard to launch a bar, and not only launch it, but to keep it going.
Yeah, definitely. So
there's so many people.
Long road ahead for me. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, there's so many people here in Columbus where we've had some really good bars, like really, really nice bars, and like just random stuff has cause them to close down and shut down, so we need more of those type of bars. And is this something that you just want to do like one bar, or would you want to expand it countrywide?
I want to do a group of like just very immersive bars in Savannah where it's like, oh shoot, that is like so off the wall. I bet you Lonnie owns that.
Oh yeah, you gotta be. Yeah, that would be so nice. Do you have other people in the bar industry, like other managers you kind of network with and rub elbows with?
Yeah, I've been trying to network, and then also just people outside of hospitality to network with too, like people who are nonprofits, people who have like events and stuff for their companies. Like you want to pull those people in because they're gonna come to your business and spend money. If they know you, they've seen you, they know you're hospitable, they're gonna follow you wherever you go because they're like, oh, Lonnie is really good to us,
I just met this another bartender lady, and she was like, are you a part of the NRA? And I was like,
National Rifle Association,
right? But she was like, that's what I thought. Like, that's such a random question to ask. Like, are you going to next ask me my political association? Like, who asked that question at lunch? Like, what gave off that energy? All right. But she was like, no, the other NRA. And I was like, niggas right in all ways. Like, I don't understand what this is. What is the other NRA? And it's called the National Restaurant Association.
Oh.
Yes. I never heard of them until she said it. But they do like, it kind of remind me of USBG a little bit. And you don't have, like you could pay to be a part of it and be a part of the group if you want to. But if you don't, they do have like conferences like Restaurant Week where you come out and they kind of, keep you in the loop of what's going on in restaurants and what's going on in the hospitality field and rules and regulations. So I was like, okay. So since you're starting your bar, I just wanted to share that with you in case you want to look it up in your free time.
Yeah.
It was always about sharing the wealth.
I'm gonna rewatch this and write it down. But I remember that it's NRA.
So you can ask all your other Black people, like, so you part of the NRA?
Yeah.
And you can stomp them.
They're gonna be like, what?
Like,
actually, down here in Savannah, it might be some people in the NRA.
They might be like, hells yeah. I'm sure as hell a part of that.
My dad got some rifles back there in the room.
I'm always ready to set bartender with rifles. Oh my gosh, that'd be a crazy killer bar. Well, Miss Lonnie, I shall not hold you any longer. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you everybody who tapped in. If you did not catch the whole episode of this, if you missed it out, it is in my Instagram live series, and it's also on my YouTube channel, Diary of a Mad Black Bartender. Don't forget to check out Miss Lonnie.
Lonnie's Liquid Laugh.
Lonnie's Liquid Laugh. Like all those L's, I was I was about to take an L saying all those L's. You know, Lonnie's Liquid Laugh. Make sure you follow her. Thank you again, Ms. Lonnie. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Be safe, be sound, be loved. Bye.
Bye.